weeknights on MeTV. Who loves you, baby?
You shouldn't ask.
It's Kojak.
Well, it sounds like music to my ear.
On MeTV.
Look at me.
Why do we love him?
Maybe it's the way I comb my hair.
Or maybe it's his trusty right-hand man.
More bite? Cracker! Cracker! Cracker!
Kojak!
Well, I just wanted to hear how it sounded.
Telly Savalas is Kojak.
Story of my life, baby.
Weeknights at 12:30, 11:30 Central on MeTV.
Who loves you?
Hi, I'm John Malos, and welcome to Connect with Me here live on Comcast Channel 187 and 43.6. Today we have a special guest in the studio. His name is Rodney Lowery. You might recognize the name. He's been on the police force for many, many years, was once a member of the SWAT team of the VCSU. Today, he's a police chaplain. We'll take your phone calls live at 265-4331. We're back in just a moment. You know, I was going to mention this yesterday, but I thought it was more appropriate to mention it today because yesterday we had Jack Scow. He's a bodybuilder on the show. Today we have the police chaplain on the program. And so you might recall on Monday we had Colin Doherty, a highly respected newsman for many, many years here in the city of Fresno. He worked at Channel 47 for that amount of time. X amount of years, right? Now he is the general manager at Channel 49, KNXT, the religious station. But a good part of our show on Monday was taken up by the Doherty Report, a report he did some 40 years ago that focused on the issue of abortion. That's when Roe versus Wade actually passed the Supreme Court, and after all these decades, it still stands as law of the land. Just check out the Fresno Bee yesterday if you still have a copy. Look what took up the majority of the front page of the Fresno Bee. Roe versus Wade. They're still trying to overturn it some 40 years later, but on Monday we had that groundbreaking interview with our boy, our guy, Colin Doherty from Channel 49, KNXT. He's going to come back again, of course, and be a guest on our program at some point. Today we have another special guest. He is the police chaplain for the Fresno Police Department. He's been on the team for many, many years. He's been a Fresno police officer. He worked, of course, in Kingsburg. He also worked in Selma before coming over. He was a member of the SWAT team, the VCSU. That was the Violent Crime Suppression Unit back in the mid to late 90s that really cracked down on crime when crime was rising and it was out of control. It was like the wild, wild west back in the mid 90s when I first came to Fresno. And this man, live in our studio now, Rodney Lowery, was a member of that VCSU team that helped bring crime down. Today, he is a police chaplain. He has been that for the better part of 5.5 years. We're going to ask him about what his job is now, how he counsels police officers who are involved in police officer-involved shootings, how he counsels youngsters at elementary school from kindergarten all the way through 5th or 6th grade. We'll talk to him about many topics. We'll talk to him about some religion. We'll talk to him about gun control. Your phone calls are also very important on this show. 265-4331. We encourage you to get involved. Our special guest, Rodney Lowery from the Fresno Police Department. He is the chaplain. We're back in just a moment.
Is taking care of laundry taking too much of your time? Have you become a missing mom? With a new fast, efficient washer and dryer from Ventura TV Video Appliance, you'll spend more of your day the way you want.
This Amana Super Capacity Washer Dryer Pair is now just $6.99, and this heavy-duty Maytag Super Capacity Washer Dryer Pair is only $8.99.
Don't spend your life on laundry. Upgrade today at Ventura TV Video Appliance and save.
So many things to get into and talk about today. Of course, religion, gun control, and the whole 9 yards. And time to welcome in Rodney Lowery, police chaplain for the Fresno Police Department. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Yeah, haven't seen you in years.
It has been years.
Yeah,
it has.
So how you doing?
Doing well, staying busy.
Yeah, I would imagine in this day and age.
Absolutely.
You know, how do you go from being a member of the SWAT team, to a member of the Violent Crime Suppression Unit, where you're cracking down on crime, gang members, and all the, you know, all the bad guys, to being a police chaplain. What a turn! That's like a 180.
It is a 180. It really is. And I wish I could tell you that it was just because I was really spiritual, and that's just not the case. It was a God thing. I was involved in a on-duty accident in 1994. I was rear-ended by a drunk driver. Caused some back injuries.
Were you on the job at the time?
I was working extra for a buddy that night. And about 6 years later, doing the specific jobs that I was involved in, doctors just said it was time to retire, and quickly becoming a liability. And in 2000, I was released by the city, and was a little wayward for a while until I felt a calling, went back to school, and spent about 7 years really chasing down this whole God thing.
So you were released by the city of Fresno in 2000 because?
Industrial accident.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you could no longer efficiently conduct your duties, right?
Right.
As an officer.
Right.
Okay. And what kind of physical ailments did you have at the time?
Several bulging discs in the upper back. I've got hardware in my lumbar area, some plastic and some metal that holds everything together. So
yeah, the back is a very fragile thing, believe it or not, and it's hard to diagnose sometimes, and it's hard to pinpoint,
right,
and it's hard to cure,
right.
You know, so you probably did the right thing. But so when you were on the force, were you not a believer?
You know, I was. I'll characterize it as kind of a nominal believer, in that I knew what was right. I found it very difficult to police and walk with God.
Why is that?
I think I let myself just get caught up with so much negativity, so much violence. It just hardens you when you deal with that day in and day out.
That's part of the job, though, Rodney.
It is, but no one knows the depths of that when you're getting hired. You can't communicate that you will deal with negativity 10 hours a day for the next 10, 20, 30 hours, seeing the worst of humanity and really what humanity inflicts upon humanity. It takes a toll on just about all of us. And
did it affect your personal life?
It did. It did. You become a little bit more withdrawn, more sarcastic, really doubting purpose. You know, it just seems like, especially the 90s when I was involved in policing, so much violence. It was difficult. It's not impossible. Many officers do a lot better job than I did, but it was a God thing, taking me out of that element and letting me readjust, bring back some compassion.
Right. We got a phone call here. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you? Oops. Okay. We'll take that call later on, I guess. So what is your job as chaplain now, all these years later?
I oversee about 35 volunteer chaplains. We've got about 25 chaplains that respond to any emergency.
Wait a minute, let me stop you there. You have 35 volunteer chaplains,
right,
and you oversee all of them.
Right.
You're the head chaplain.
I'm the senior chaplain.
You're
the youngest,
you're the
senior.
guy.
I'm the guy. I'm the guy. But only because I've just got great people.
But what's your job? What do these chaplains do? What's their objective?
You know, above us, I see an old photograph of a MASH unit, that popular show in the 70s. Really, that's what we are. We're a spiritual MASH unit. Our jobs are go out to any critical incidents, any emergent calls in community. We arrive, first responders, and offer that immediate care and comfort.
To who?
To anyone that suffers any loss. It may be someone who lost a loved one. It may be someone who has had to evacuate because of a SWAT call out or a fire. Anyone that's in need will respond, and we actually, again, supply that first aid of emotional comfort, and then we try to find them a long-term resource.
And how much different is that compared to what you used to do? It's not that you are not your body you're pretty much conditioned to seeing carnage.
Right.
Okay. Is it any different than what you did before?
Yes, it is.
In what way?
I think what I did before had more of a temporal effect for people. Make an arrest. There would be, a stint in jail, but we would leave, and most of the time we would leave, and there would still be long existing problems in whatever household we dealt with. This has enabled us to spend time. We're not subject to call loads. We can do follow-ups, which we actively participate in, walking with families after they've had loss, and building relationships.
Now, are you the only one on the force that actually is paid to do this job?
No, actually, I have an associate chaplain that's paid full-time. He coordinates the school resource program, and then we've got an office manager that does all the work.
Okay, I want to talk to you about that later in the show, but we've got to go to a break now. We've got to take a commercial timeout. We're talking to Rodney Lowery. He is the police chaplain for the Fresno Police Department. We'll go more in depth about his job and talk a little bit about religion and also gun control and what the chaplains do to try to encourage those who are in school, in elementary school. My kids are still in elementary school, and there's a lot of time left between now and the age of, 18, 19, 20 years old. So we'll talk to Rodney about that and much more in just a moment.
Look at that. Isn't that a great layout? You son of a gun.
This campaign is no good.
No good!
Darren and Larry, the original Mad Men on Bewitched.
Rodney Lowery is our guest today. He's the Fresno Police Chaplain, and just saying during the break here, this isn't a topic that you hear too much about or read that much about. Police chaplains and what they do and what their objective is. And you say you go in and counsel families. Do you also continue to follow those families after a tragedy has happened, say a fire or a shooting or a robbery or whatever the case might be?
Yeah, absolutely.
You do follow-ups.
We do follow-ups. We do. What we're trying to do is build relationships, and that just takes time. Eventually, what we want to be able to do is, after a relationship's built, connect them to a long-term resource, such as maybe their local church in the community. We want to be able to partner people with whatever resource, whether it's a local resource, the church, governmental, just to give them long-term care. Because of the volume.
Has it worked? Have you made an impact? Have you made a difference?
Absolutely, absolutely. What's so unique is we do follow-ups for domestic violence. Anytime there's a verbal disturbance, our officers will go out there, and if they can't make an arrest, there's really nothing's done.
They send you.
Then they send us, and we'll sit down and try to find out what's the catalyst. Why are you
going on here?
What's going on? Is it finance? We had one young lady and a gentleman say, "Listen, we just don't agree on how to discipline kids." So they asked, "Can you connect us to a pastor that can biblically tell us how to do that?" We were able to do that.
Amazing. Let's take a call. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you?
Good morning.
Hi.
It's got to be one of the toughest jobs ever, being an active duty police officer. Rodney, in your estimation, you think it's tougher to be a cop, teacher, or a highway patrolman?
Or a police chaplain.
Oh, a police chaplain. Well, because my boss is listening, most likely, I'm going to say police chaplain. But
wait a minute, who's listening? Who? I want to know who.
Police Chief Jerry Dyer.
He's watching right now?
I'm hoping so. I'm going to say being a city police officer, because you're thrusted into every situation, whether it be disturbances, traffic, suicidal subjects. You just really got to become a master of dealing with the human race.
So what kind of problems do you see out there that you're trying to rectify?
Well, I'm going to say that the majority of police calls stem
from your standpoint.
From my standpoint, my opinion, stem from no father in the home.
Really?
No father in the home.
Those are the majority of the problems?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you got single parents dealing with all sorts of problems, no father in the home. What about no mother in the home? You don't get that much.
Not as much. No.
Not as much. All right. I thought you were going to say drugs, alcohol, gangs, no father in the home, single parents.
Well, I think all those things, the drugs, no father in the home, those are manifestations from not having that father figure in the home.
For the life of me, I don't know how you rectify those kind of problems. I mean, it's an ongoing process, is it not?
It is. That's why we started the domestic follow-ups, to try to meet these people's needs, encourage them to stay together.
How long do these follow-ups last? For years?
No, again, typically
months, weeks.
It would be safe to say anywhere from months to maybe 3 or 4 months until we can connect them to, like, say, Fresno Healthy Marriages Coalition.
Right. All right, another phone call. Good morning, you're on Connect with Me. How are you? Hello? Are you still there?
Yes,
Hi, what's your question?
I was listening right now about the no parent in the house.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. I was a single parent. I have an older son who's 44 now, and at the age of 8, my husband and I separated, divorced, and I raised all my 5 kids by myself. And I think there's a lot of misconception, because also it has to do with the woman herself, how much she loves her kids, what she wants. She wants the best for them. I raised all my 5 kids by myself, and like I said, one of them is a school teacher, and 2 of them work for the school, and the other one works for one of the phone companies. And my oldest one, well, he's got a really good job. None of them were ever involved in drugs or alcohol. My 2 daughters got married. My oldest one got married at 26, and my other one at 23. And
let me interrupt you right there. What's the biggest problem that you had with your kids as a single parent?
Well, to be honest with you, I myself never had any problems. As a matter of fact, a lot of my friends can't understand why, because we talk about spanking and discipline and everything. And I told one of my friends once, I said, you know what? I had 5 kids. I never had a discipline problem with them. I never had to spank them, because, I don't know, I guess it has to do with the way I was raised, and I was raising my children the way my parents raised me.
Mm-hmm.
I had a 2-parent home always, and my parents never argued. There was never any bad words between them, never arguing.
Right.
And I think that was the basis of my way of raising my children.
All right, we're getting a little short on time. Do you have a quick question for Rodney?
Yes. What is the most kind of call do you get? Is it because parents are being abusive to the kids, or the other way?
No, most of the calls that we respond out on to are domestic violence, also emergent situations. If someone has lost a loved one, we'll respond out and reach out to those families. But, you know, I'll congratulate you.
That's amazing. No problems.
Right.
5 kids.
Right. Yeah.
How do you do that?
That's you're the exception. Trust me. I was raised by a single mother, and from my own experience, I know that when I acted out, it was because I didn't have a dad in the home that I had to worry about.
So why aren't the dads in the home? What's going on? They're out committing crimes, or what? What's the deal?
You know, I think our culture just allows for. It's just become too easy to separate, to leave.
The scene.
Right. Everyone wants to be is chasing this happiness. I want to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
And we're becoming more selfish.
Yeah. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. How are you?
Hello.
Hi. How are you? What's your quick question?
My question is the thing about not having a father at home and the mother raising the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to know who said that it was okay for people to have same-sex partners. Want to ask the chaplain that?
Yeah, go ahead. You just did. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Let me get this right. You're asking who said it was okay?
I think that's, I think he's gone now. I think that's what he asked, yeah. Who said it was okay? I don't think we got to that topic yet.
No.
I never said that.
No. Well, certainly from a biblical perspective, it's not okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, I'm a single parent. You know, I'm divorced. A lot of people, I think, know that, and I can't imagine leaving my kids and splitting the scene and not being around. I want to be a part of their lives, and I just don't understand why they take off. Amazing. I don't know if you get it.
Because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. You can
really? You're telling me?
You can lead organizations. You can lead just about anything. The most difficult thing to lead is your family, because they see you day in and day out, and a lot of people just don't have the resolve to stick in it.
Well, I guess I do. It's the hardest job in the world.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. Yeah, have mercy. All right, we're talking to Rodney Lowery, Police Chaplain, Fresno Police Department, and we're going to continue with your phone calls. 265-4. What is the number? 265-4331. Almost lost my place there. We got a lot of ground to cover. We only have a few minutes left. We're back in a moment.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified #1 rated high-efficiency Cabrio from Whirlpool Place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Whirlpool Cabrio laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
Okay, another quick call out of the break here. Good morning, you're on Connect with Me. Whoops, didn't have much patience there. That's okay. You can call back. 265-4331 is the number. Let me ask you something. You also get involved with police-involved shootings. Now, there have been 2 of those this year so far involving the Fresno Police Department, 2 shootings. How do you counsel an officer who has shot and killed someone out of self-defense?
You know, it's really difficult. Personally, I've been involved in officer-involved shootings. And
how many of that have you been involved with?
2.
2. You've shot and killed 2 suspects in self-defense, obviously. But how did you deal with that personally?
Well, just one was hit.
Okay.
You know, it takes a while because it's life-changing. In
what way?
Just knowing that you are ultimately responsible for taking someone else's life.
Can you successfully counsel another officer who was forced to conduct his job in the way that he was trained, do it well, and yet come to grips and wrap his mind around what he's just done?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, if they have a faith background, we can even look into Scripture. There's a basis for what police officers may have to do.
As a matter of fact, we have the scriptures, and we're going to put those up on the screen now. And you can look up there, Rodney, and describe to us what we're looking at here. This is out of the Bible, is it not?
Absolutely. This is, I believe this is New American Standard Version, and it says, every person is to be in subjection to the government authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those which exist are established by God. Therefore, whoever resists authority has opposed the ordinance of God, and they who have opposed will receive condemnation upon themselves. For rulers are not a cause of fear for good behavior, but for evil. And what it's talking about is do what's right. Don't violate the laws. And there's no fear of authority. But if you do evil, if you practice evil, then authority has been placed to make those arrests, to take life if necessary.
So what are we getting out of that? Does that say, am I reading that correctly, does that say it's okay in this society that we live in, the place that we've been put by our Maker, that if people break the law, that we need defenses? If someone is shot and killed, to defend our state, our city, our country, it's okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's okay.
Yes.
You're going to be forgiven.
Absolutely.
Is that what that says?
Absolutely.
Okay. And that's that was part of Romans, what was that?
Chapter 13.
Chapter 13.
Verses 1 through 5, I believe.
Okay. And you believe that?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Do officers read that verse, and do they believe it?
You know, those that have a faith base do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think most of us, in fact, the Bible tells us that we're kind of implanted with a God gene to know that there is a God. It's out of Romans chapter 1. A lot of us choose to suppress that knowledge and disbelieve.
Yep, it's Romans 13, 1 through 5, so you can look that up. Those of you watching at home right now, if you have a Bible. Let's take a quick phone call here, Rodney. Good morning, you're on Connect With Me. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
What's your question, quickly?
I don't have a question. I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for the police chaplain for having the job that he does. If it wasn't for men like him, then we wouldn't, the society would really be lost, dealing with the aftermath of what they deal with, the situations that they're given, women who are beaten by their husbands, our children who are mistreated. I'm so glad that there is someone that can go and help them pick up the pieces and start over again. So thank you so much for doing the job that you're doing. It's not going unnoticed, and you are a true blessing, and you should be proud.
Thank you. But I really have to give the credit to those that work for the police department, the volunteer chaplains. They do such a great job. Selfless. They've actually put in over 300,000 volunteer hours since the inception of the chaplaincy.
Two more things I want to get to. We've got about 3 minutes left. Let's talk about gun control really quick. We'll put some video up on the screen. Gun sales are through the roof. The sales of bullets are through the roof. You go out to the range. I mean, many of these places are sold out. Yet
absolutely,
President Obama, you know what happened last week or a week or two ago, through executive order, we have new gun control laws in the country right now.
Right.
What's your stance on gun control?
Well, that's a... Did I mention that I was a chaplain? It's such a slippery slope to begin to pull guns.
This is an issue. It's like abortion or gay rights. I mean, it's a polarizing issue, is it not?
No, I don't think so. I think there are a few that are demanding gun control, but I think the vast majority want to be able to keep their weapons.
Yeah. You think it's okay?
At the end of the day, I'll have to say that yes, I believe that each one of us who live in America have the right to protect themselves.
Right. We've got about 2 minutes left. I'd like you to talk about that elementary school program where the chaplains go out and speak to the elementary school kids. Very important to get these kids while they're young. Get them early. Talk about that.
We've had just a wonderful opportunity with Fresno Unified Superintendent Michael Hansen. He agreed to allow volunteer chaplains on campus, starting in first grade, where the chaplains are actually trained in victimization, looking for kids that are withdrawing or acting out. We found through investigation that kids that are being molested or abused are not reporting to their late teen years, causing just so much emotional and physical baggage. We've got chaplains deployed on campus that are looking for these kids that are acting out or withdrawing, and being a conduit for that reporting. They've been allowed to actually go into campus, teach a curriculum of character and integrity, and then at the end of the day, we're looking for kids that need things, kids that are coming to school without backpacks, writing utensils. We had one young girl at a local elementary school on the north end of town show up with her shoes, the tips of her shoes cut out, because she couldn't afford new shoes. So the chaplains, we're looking at education, we're looking at protection, but at the end of the day, again, we want to be a conduit for resources for families.
Jeez, including buying supplies, school supplies,
whatever
shoes,
they need. Absolutely.
A coat,
absolutely.
Who knows what. And that has nothing to do with religion. That has to do with just helping people.
No, we reach out to every person, no matter their religious connotation.
Yeah.
It's just about impacting our community, and there's so many opportunities right now. The Fresno Police Department, it just dawned on us, we average 2,000 calls a day in Fresno.
Wow. We've got 10 seconds left. Congratulations on the great work that you do for the community. Come back again.
Absolutely. Would love to.
We need you and your chaplains. You do a great job, and we'd love to have you back as a guest. Hey, get Chief Dyer on here.
Absolutely.
If he's watching, you got an open invitation.
He may come on. Could I leave our website if anyone's interested?
Quickly, before you go to credits.
fpdchap.org. Visit us there online and take a look at what we're doing. Maybe you're interested.
fpdchap.org. Thank you, Rodney Lowery, police chaplain for the Fresno Police Department. Tomorrow, Chris Cummings, owner of the Fresno Grizzlies. See you tomorrow.